Hello and welcome to a quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, of another furry visual novel. This one, Coffee Buns, a game about, as you look up the synopsis, an 18-plus transformation visual novel set after the events of Mice Tea, which as far as I know is, from what the quick look had, a girl finds magical tea which turns into a mouse, and maybe does other things to other people, and yeah, I guess creates magical stuff, but yeah. Continue with the synopsis. It's been 2 years since the worldwide release of kimono tea, which turns people who drink it into anthropomorphic animals. Society is still adjusting to the idea of real-life furries, but that doesn't mean you can skip your day job. Kind of like that one meme where it's like, man, my life would be so better if I was a furry, and then it's like, my life is a furry. Same job, being a little bit toyed. Anyways, Leonardo by Bianco is a barista at a struggling cafe. His boss feels like hopping on the furry train might be just the thing to attract customers to his flourishing business via a connection to at another local business, which some returning readers might recognize. Leo and his co-workers are offered a chance to try transforming themselves. The tea works as advertised, but for Leo, there are changes he didn't anticipate, which as I see on the thing that's not over there, there's also a girl bunny. Ooh, which I want to try that tea. But anyways, also before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's available free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $5 a month for this game, and I think a different game. What was it called? Cross Signals? Hyena. So, I think with all that out of the way, let me clear my throat, reset my face, and continue. Whoa. Or start. Whoa. Day 999. It do be like that? Day 1. Daily Grind. It's been 2 years. Okay, I thought it was going to be the exact same synopsis as before. 2 years since kimono tea was unveiled to the world. New Greenshire was one of the first cities in the US to gain access to the magical tea, which had the power to turn people into animalistic versions of themselves. They wonder if it's like, no matter what tea, like, if it's, you get one tea you're a tiger, another one you're a mouse, or if it's like, yeah, everybody just has their affinity. I don't know. Though availability is still limited, its effects are beginning to manifest across society. Human civilization is still coming to grips with the ramifications of how such a powerful entity will shape culture and the future of what was once mankind. Wood. So you shouldn't pull for units unless you have enough for a tenfold. And even then, you want to save your crystals until the last day of the next limited event, when the meta's gonna be refined. Okay, so, like, gaming stuff. The daily deal is only worth it if you spend premium currency. It'll build your pity rates. And if you aren't lucky enough to pull a 5-star, you'll still get a steady supply of garbage units to turn stardust. But you gotta remember, do not feed your garbage units to your party for XP. Stardust is finite, and XP is not. It's also the only way to obtain the power print, which are invaluable quips. Yeah, stuff and things. Well, so that's a huge tip jar. It's like a tip bowl. I'd say save up about 500k Stardust and keep in reserve in case a new limited print drops. Personally, I've got like 200k saved up for the New Year's event. That makes sense. Anyway, I'm using a cheese strat right now to take advantage of one unit's counter damage and another's unbalanced buff rate. It will probably be patched soon, but I'm farming high demon orbs. I need to grab them while I can so I can buy the new 6-star water sword. Good thing I've never gotten gacha games. I'm missing the right support unit for the raid, though. It's a less constant auto, but at least it's about 80% clear rate. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you have anything pressing to relate to your associate here? Oh no, or our associate. I guess we're just talking about... Then I'll kindly ask you to provide your order to Mr. Bianco so we can expedite things for our other customers. I'm sorry, I'm just a little wolf. Oh, yeah. Could I get a large blend caramel mocha to go? Mochiato? I tap the order into the tablet. That'll be $6.95. A few charms dangle on the phone case as she taps out the card reader. I assume they're from a game she was talking about. A boss isn't taller than me, but she still feels like she looms over my shoulder as she watches the tiny wolf fret over how much tip to add. I was just due 20, you know? Thanks for the tip. We'll have your drink out for you soon. She nods and pulls out her phone as she continues her quest for more dragon orbs. I remain facing ahead, as though there's someone next in line. There isn't. I hold out hope that someone might walk in the front door and appreciate my steady attention, but there's no such luck. Sighing, I turn around and see what's the absence of heels clacking back to the office already told me. Hey boss, Mr. Bianco, I know we're very passionate about providing a friendly, welcoming atmosphere here, but really, that was the prime opportunity to cut the conversation short. It's fine, she just wanted someone to talk to, and there wasn't any line. Ash takes the effort to lean closer in our conversation as she steams milk for a cappuccino. Yeah, Bean, you aren't helping me at the drink station, huh? I'm just buying you some time before I make a mocha. You sure? I don't know why right now it's kind of hard to read. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it ain't. It's weird to be like that. You sure you don't want me to handle that one? Sounds like you're having fun gossiping with your friends. No, really. Getting a star on that mocha right now. I grab the closest porta filter and rinse it under some hot water before placing it under the guindo. You sure about that? I could help you with the caramel swirls if you need. No, totally fine. Because when it comes to swirls, I know you. Oh, like the ability to do swirls? Mr. Bianco's swirls are the best this cafe has to offer. Ash, effects an affronted frown? Wow, the truth comes out, I guess. So, I can trust the store to you two while I take care of some phone calls? Ash returns to preparing a drink, and I press down the grounds with the tamper. Coffee stuff. I don't know. Sure, me and Bean have things all covered, don't we? Yep, all good. She stands there, wondering if there's any more managerial guidance she's justified in providing. This managerial thing. Sometimes it's weird when you look at words and you're like, what the hell is that? Oh, managerial. Then I'll leave the awakenings in your capable hands. Or awakenings. Oh, that's this place. Oh, because it's a cool coffee shop and people awake. I don't even have time to look up to hear her footsteps fade into the back room as I tighten the portafilter on the group ahead. The espresso machine buzzes as I wait for it to produce a shot. She's right though, I do make better swirls. Ash clinks the pitcher of milk on the counter, or clinks. Bassett on all sides today. Who's Bassett? I guess some old god. Candace, order's ready. The woman approaches and grabs a drink. She rushes a goodbye from her lips and hurries herself out the door, leaving me, Ash, the wolf, and an older woman pecking at a laptop as the only people present. I keep an ear towards the door as I pour the espresso into the blender with milk, chocolate sauce, and a brisk pump of caramel syrup. If it tastes anything like the last few, I don't need it to bother. Wait. Does caramel go in a mocha? Was it a caramel mocha or is it just a mocha? My thing is always mochas. The pre-work rush of customers you'd hope to frequent a coffee shop has dried up to a trickle. It's forced Ash and I to get creative and find ways to look busy during downtime. The whirling of the blender can't quite overpower the sound of a motor school stopping in front of the shop and a click-clacking of footsteps distinct from bosses. Or rather, hoofprints. It's a deer. Dear oh dear. Morning, Leo. Got your order here? No, wait, got your order here. Hey, Naomi. You can't... Was that a person from the previous game? I only played it for like an hour because, quick look. You can set them over there next to Ash. She's not doing anything right now. She could shoot me a dirty look if she wanted to, but she knows it's the truth. Yeah, I guess it would be hard for me to recognize them while with deer. Naomi drops off 3 boxes of pastries on the counter. First day of the reduced order for you. Yeah, thanks. Hopefully, we don't have too much access now. I don't know. The free unsold pastries are probably the second best thing about working at a cafe. Nice working swirls, by the way. Or liquid swirls. I turn behind me as I take a break from the meticulously applying the spiral of caramel to the interior of the takeout cup. Ash rolls her eyes and lets her wrists flop dramatically at her side. I guess also today it's been a hot minute since I've done visual novel stuff because current events. You got a floor shift today? Nah, just deliverables today. I should be able to make drinks tonight with you and Roman, and I also am a bit sick right now, I guess. Inflated lymph nodes. Heck. I had forgotten the plan to head to Roman's place of work and see how much we could get away with distracting him from customers who weren't his friends. Like all social obligations, I put more than a little thought into how much I could get away with heading home instead. It do be like that. I'm feeling more sociable than usual, so I'm almost positive I'll go. Yeah, I should be able to see you there. Any more deliveries after us? Nope. I hope you don't mind me bringing yours last. I look around at the nearly empty shop as I top the mocha with whipped cream. I think we'll manage. Maku, order's ready. Yeah, Wolf. The wolf shuffles over without lifting her eyes from her phone and grabs her drink before heading out the door. Actually, I came here last because I have something to tell your boss. Is she available right now? Oh, she's taking some phone calls right now. Oh, I'll wait here then. Oh, and I completely forgot again. I mean, there's lots of stuff. The synopsis, where you can get the game, blah blah blah. If you want me to play this game as a Let's Play, then tell me, and I'll add it to the list. Well, I'll give it a point. We should put it higher on the list of, request visual novels that I'll do Let's Plays of. And also, if you have any other visual novels you want me to do quick looks of, then tell me, and I'll add it to the list of stuff to do. It's gone really short, but I think I found something that might be able to give me some more visual novels. Also reset my face because I was all dramatic. I'm a theater kid. Actually, no. No need. She cups her hands over her mouth. Boss! Someone wants to talk to you! I'm on the phone, Miss Blumenthal. It's Naomi! The chair scrapes along the floor, and papers flutter out of a folder as the boss emerges from the back room, smoothing out her sweater and hair. Ah, yes, Miss Reavers. Thank you for coming to see me. If there wasn't other family here, I would actually be yelling. Because let's just say there's been a bunch of yelling in the house. I don't think the neighbors would be too much, but it would be kind of weird to explain. Yeah, I wasn't on the phone with family members. I was reading a visual novel about people turning into animals, and also there's a sex change, probably. Yeah. Okay, I'll say what I was yelling at family members. To cover it up. Ian? Ah yes, Miss Reavers, thank you for coming to see me. My pleasure. If you wouldn't mind accompanying me to the office, so we could continue discussing the matter we were discussing. Yeah, of course. Their clanks? Oh, right, because hooves and stuff. Mingle together as they disappear into the back office. Ash and I turn towards each other with menacing matching raised eyebrows. I can read. What was that about? Beats me. You don't know she's your friend? Or she's your friend. She hasn't mentioned one thing to me. She turns towards the office and scratches near the piercing on her eyebrow with the back of her thumb. Is she gonna hire Naomi or something? Sorta doubt we're in much of a position to hire new baristas. Plus, I can't imagine her dropping her current job. Well, that's a relief. Relief? What do you mean relief? I really don't think I need to have her as a coworker. Whoa, hey, Naomi's nice. Yeah, exactly. She narrows her eyes at the muffled conversation leaking through the walls. Chipper. She says it like Naomi showed up to a wedding in white. What would you do if you didn't, do the deed? Do you wear something else? I don't know. Yeah, she's got a positive attitude. I could use some of that. Just don't spend all your time talking about your schoolyard crushes if she gets hired here. Oh, come on. I want to talk about boys. And girls. I once saw a boob. That won't be an issue. We hear the door open and Naomi clop her way out. Hey, gotta get back to the bistro. Bistro. I can read, but I'll see it to you later, okay? Really excited to share what we're talking about. She shakes a little elated fist in front of her, while her literal doe eyes sparkle with excitement. I don't have time to respond before she's already back to her mopped puttering away moped. Ash gestures towards the door as if to rest her case. I sigh and screw the top of the of the creamer pitchers as the pickup counter to check their levels. They're all just as full as the last time I checked, but I have to keep myself busy somehow. I kind of wish in Dave the Diver the cooking section lasted a bit longer, The slow trickle of customers helps somewhat, but I keep finding myself dusting the tops of the espresso machine and scrubbing the inside of the sink. Cold brews sit awaiting prospective customers, and our cup sleeves maintain their unrivaled streak of remaining neatly straightened in their dispenser. Our decision to cut back on the pastries turns out to be the correct one, and we get close to selling out by the time we close. We actually sell more than we usually do. A paltry amount of pastries in the case probably does a lot to convince customers to grab one before they're completely exhausted. There's only 3 left for Ash and I to split as we approach closing time. It's a human! What is that? I'm already whisking a splash of espresso into the few spoonfuls of sugar in anticipation for my typical last order of the day when Roman walks in. Leo, my man. My man. He strides in and clanks down a mug that matches the one I'm still fervently stirring. Hey, Roman. Cortatitos, not quite finished. I guess that's some kind of coffee. That makes it fresher once it's done. Ash grabs the mug, he sits down, and rolls her eyes before tossing it in the sink with the rest of the end of the day dishes. I put another splash of espresso in the mug and whisk again before pulling the spoon out and letting the mixture drip down to conform. The sugar's totally dissolved. It's finally ready for the rest of the coffee, which I pour in and give a few gentle stirs. Am I gonna see you tonight at Murph's? I streamed the last milk of the day in the pitcher. Yeah, Naomi's coming too, remember? Roman leans back and stares past the menu board behind me. Oh, today is... He snaps his fingers on his left hand, the one with prominence watched hand. Friday. Today's Friday. Yes, Friday. Right. Yeah, totally. I'll see you both at the bar. I pour the streamed milk into the mug, slowing down to let the last fourth or so float to the top. I let the last few drops taper off into the in size to make the simple pattern on top and hand him the mug. Your usual, sir. He takes the mug and lifts it up. Salute, bro. He tilts back the first sip before lowering the mug and sucking the breath between his teeth. That's the stuff. He pulls out $2 bills. One for the maestro. He puts one in the tip jar and one for the ineffable Ash. He drops in the second bill. Ash doesn't look up from the dishes. Thanks, Roman. Don't let the bachelorette parties push you around. Not a chance. His tab will be tallied at the end of the month, so there's nothing more he has to do besides wave from the exit. See you in a bit. I'll have your drink ready, bud. Are we going to like some kind of bachelor party or something? I wave back as the door closes behind him. When I turn around, Ashley's face is already inches from mine. Smooching time? You gonna go with your boyfriend? Jesus. We were roommates. It's not the 60s. You don't have to say your roommates. Not even have to say confirmed bachelor, which for a long time I didn't know that meant gay. Unfortunately, I'm straight. Well, so is spaghetti until it gets wet. But what happens if he becomes a lady? And unfortunately for the women of New Greenshire, so is Roman. Oh, because he's like a silly flirt or something? She turns back to the dishes. Give it time. Just to show him furry porn. I mean, I guess if furries were more of a, in-person thing in this universe, there would be more gay men. Especially if they looked somewhat like the characters. Just saying, I only found out I like dudes from furry porn. I sigh and roll up my sleeves a little more as I join her at the sink. She brushes me away. No, seriously, catch up with your little friends. I lean up straight. Wait, you sure? Yeah, just leave me 2 of the pastries. The tea chip scone and the pão de queijo, whatever. The generosity of her offer is the only thing preventing me from being disappointed. The pão de queijo is the best thing they serve at Naomi's place. Okay, if you're sure. Very sure. I'll tell boss. I pause, wondering for a second, and if there's a second ulterior motive behind the pastries. With none springing to mind, I remove my apron and stick it in its peg. Ooh. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Sure. I grab the bag and unplug my phone from the charger under the counter before heading out. There's no way she can see my wave as I pass through the door, but she tilts her head up as I do. The Queue. It's still sunny outside as I step into the late afternoon air. There's a couple of bars that are closer and nicer than Murph and Murphy's, but it's one Roman works at, so it's rare I go anywhere else. I have the luxury of time, so I take more scenic route that passes by a few more shops, including Naomi's place of work. It's as busy as it always is. A few of the store windows are always worth a second glance as I pause in front of a few to see if there's anything new. One is worth stopping for. I mean, It wouldn't be surprising for me to be like, yes, those are things, or usually not even in a horny thing, but be like, if I was Randy, be like, yes, but then I'm feeling like this. It's not a metaphor. Foreshadowing? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. This is foreshadowing, especially since I know stuff-ish. I haven't actually played this game beyond now, but still, there's that image. There's a women boutique that tends to have the most eye-catching collection of any store in the city, at least among ones I'm aware of. I've never been inside, but tonight's not the first time it stopped. A half-dozen white, featureless mannequins stand behind a palette plate glass window, each dressed in what must be the season's new collection. 3 immediately catch my eye, the ones in the front. A dramatic off-shoulder gown with emerald green satin straps, only one arm in a sleeve, creating a suspenseful, asymmetric impression. Black mini dress drapes an outer sheath of interlocked sleeve-like shapes around a plain, white contouring tube. Fancy words! Extending out to the calf and shoulders to create texture and contrast against the skin. But somehow, what catches my attention the most is the supple red cocktail A-line dress with a V-neck. It's definitely the least adventurous item on display, but there's a simple, classic quality that draws my eye. I know I can't tarry long. The sidewalk is only so wide, and people will have to walk around me. The options of these strangers could generate about a spindly guy ogling dresses is enough to keep my time brief. My appreciation for women's fashion has been the source of frustration since high school. It seemed like the most natural thing in the world at the time. Why wouldn't the guy like women dressed in nice clothes? But every time I brought it up, the conversation never went how I hoped. Guys quickly moved on to imagining girl out of the clothing, more fixated on how clothing emphasized the body underneath. Attempting to steer the conversation back to the way the actual clothes looked was always met with suspicion, whether I got accused of being gay and/or when to dress in the clothes myself. I'd like to tell you that I was mature enough at such point that such taunting didn't affect me, but you were a teenager too at that point. Yeah, but I guess you didn't have to live in the early 2000s. But breathe, gamer. It's alright. I don't know, I'm a bit tense. I just wanted to do fooey visual novels. Eventually, I stopped bringing it up. Even among girlfriends, I tried to play it cool, though I'd wager if you polled them, they'd say I gave them more compliments on their outfits than most of their boyfriends. Not that did enough to keep me from being single at the moment. But beautiful women wearing beautiful clothes is beautiful. It's the most obvious fucking statement in the world, but one that I felt I can't express out loud without attracting skepticism. I know you could have become a fashion designer, I guess, or critic. Okay, the subtlety is not subtle. Any more lingering might look suspicious, so I only stay for a moment more. There's still a few more blocks before Murph and Murphy's. I don't pause at any more shops along the way. You know, if I had the ability to be able to snap my fingers and be a lady, I would do that, but only if I could easily snap my fingers and be a dude again. Especially if I could be a furry lady. But anyways, that's besides the point. I feel more like a dude, you know? Anyways, it's too early for the bar to be crowded, but Naomi's antlers would have let me pick her out of a crowd. Except for that one time, I went to meet her at a ramen shop and sat down across some buck who was in the middle of his meal. With more furries in town, I need to be a little more careful when recognizing her. Leo, over here. Maybe she too knows I don't need help, but she's not one to miss the opportunity for cheerful greeting. I take the stool next to her. Hey, Blitzen. That's racist! Wait, that's not her actual name, right? Naomi. Naomi giggles into her half-finished bee's knees and shoves my shoulder. She lets me get away with too many of those. Just going through the entire list of, reindeers. Roman appears from the other side of the bar with a towel over his shoulder. Hey, you're early. I don't have your drink ready. You're making me look bad. Ash told me she'd close up herself. Nice. Let me get a drink, though. He pulls out a tumbler and flicks a large block of ice to make it spin around the glass wall. She's such a sweetie. Don't tell her I said that, though. Ash's appraisal of Naomi is still fresh in my mind. I promise I won't. Roman stirs gin, Campari, and vermouth in a second. Glass-filled glass. Ice-filled glass. Glass-filled glass. That one, you want to drink that? Think you'll invite her here one of these nights? Like, for friend drinks? He strains the drink into the glass. Yeah, if you think she'd want to come. I grimace. I don't know, she's kinda got her own thing going on. Roman twists an orange peel over the Negroni and drops it in. He slides the drink down towards me. Your usual, sir. I take the glass and lift it up. Salute. Naomi has just enough left in a cocktail to clink her glass in cheers. If you ever do, let us know, and we can wingman for you. I almost spit out my first sip. What? Oh yeah, we'll totally hype you up. I'm not looking to date, Ash. We already worked together for over 2 years, you know. That just means you know her really well. Way better basis to start a relationship when you know what she's into. It do be like that. I'm very aware of what she's into, and that definitely does not include me. What kind of girl wouldn't want a dude like you? A femboy? I'm being interrogated right now. Is this an intervention? You're the one that should be getting grilled right now. What the hell were you doing talking to my boss about? Naomi circles one of her keratin tip fingers around the edge of her coupe glass. Oh, I'll never tell. Furries always look extra smug when they smirk. It's probably all the extra nose they have to turn up. What happened? Naomi was sulking around in the back of the office from boss day. Then she was all coy about some surprise they were preparing together or something. What were you two talking about? Look, I don't like you more than Leo, and you're terrible at remembering to keep things in confidence. She snaps her fingers. Water, sparkling. You're not getting any secrets out of me. Roman scoops some ice into a pint glass and shoots some club soda out of bargain. Can't you whisper it to me? She snatches the glass from him and brings her straw to her lips. No way, and you're gonna find out tomorrow. Stop being so impatient. Are you gonna start working first or something? Oh god no, I'm way too busy at Barlow's. Whatever. Buns putting you through the rat race? She's a mouse, first of all. Oh, I guess maybe the main character of the first game? And we're just really busy. We've also started up a lot of distribution deals with companies around town who are using the tea for, like, excursions. Excursions? What kind of excursions? Like, I think one of those flying lessons. We turn the customers into birds, and then some glide throws them in a bus, and then they go on the field and learn how to get airborne. Some guy, duh. Sounds like that would need a lot of wafers. Hasn't stopped people yet. But there's like a mountain goat one where you can go rock climbing, and one where you turn into the same animal as your pet so you can talk with them. Wait, does that actually work? Huh. I don't know how that would work. But anyways, so I guess there is Um, different teas do different things. Where do they get these teas? Man, I wonder when I'm going to get around to having some of that tea. Whenever you show up. Yeah, I bet. But then I feel like I have to make the most out of it. Like, it's not worth it unless I take a long weekend to do all the animal stuff. You and me, baby, ain't nothing like mammals. Oh, wait. Ain't nothing like mammals? Ain't nothing but mammals. And I don't even know what I turn into, so I couldn't schedule that, or what stuff I'd want to do. Just take some and find out. You'll just turn back the next morning. You don't have to make a big detail out of it, of changing your first time. So wait, you don't? I don't know if it, Kinda then imply that you can't pick it, I don't know. You did totally rearrange your life after having the tea the first time. Well, I did. Not everybody has to go full-time like me. I remember the day Naomi came back to the cafe with a new body and name to match. Okay, then I wouldn't recognize her. 'Cause Naomi. We were roommates at the time, and getting used to living with an anthropomorphic doe was a lot to take in. The number of hygiene products in our shared bathroom exploded as she had new fur and antlers and hooves to take care of, not to mention all the makeup. Looking back, I don't think I handled the change all that well. I got a little standoffish with my friend, whose presentation changed so drastically overnight. I mean, it would be weird if you came home and all of a sudden your friend is a different kind of animal. But she's having such a good time with her new life, she didn't take much notice of me being more withdrawn. It's not like that's out of character for me anyway. Fortunately, she started making enough to upgrade her own place, and Roman moved into her room. We're better friends now than we were roommates, which is probably typical for most people. I do wonder what I'd turn into, though. Otter. You'd be a big otter. Naomi crunches some ice between her teeth. Roman stops wiping the glass he was drying. Really? Yep, otter. Roman is natural and looking confused. How did you... Your other job is a lifeguard. You're tall and lean and masculine. You're romantic and you're big, goofy doofus. Total otter material. Oh. Guess I'll do it before the summer's over so I can get some swimming in. The fur will keep you warm. You'll have the whole beach yourself in the winter. I raise my eyebrow at Naomi. Do you know what everyone's gonna turn into? Almost always. Sometimes it's really easy. What would Leo turn into? Naomi turns and looks down her snout at me. Give me a sec. I didn't have curry, like super hot curry recently, so throat is a bit, trying to be like, we gotta defend ourselves. I gulp. She turns away and snaps before pouring a glass to Roman to refill. I've got some theories, but none I'm confident enough to say. I'm simultaneously relieved and disappointed. You lived with him for like 2 years. You seriously can't tell after that long? Leonardo here's a tough nut to crack. Silent types can be more difficult. I realize it's been forever since I've taken a sip from my cocktail. The ice has diluted the Negroni a touch. Yeah, I'm very aloof and mysterious. Strong silent type. They both just laugh. Totally, bro. Our night of drinking doesn't last much longer. We only get away with talking when it's early in Roman's shift, and eventually the bar fills up with regular customers. Naomi and I both have shifts that give us embarrassingly early bedtimes, so we each head home while it's still light out. She gives me a hug goodbye and a wink before telling me she'll see me tomorrow. The subway ride home is even shorter for Murph and Murphy's, and I walk to the five flights of my apartment. I flick the lights and toss my keys on the kitchen counter. A few of the mugs Roman neglected to bring back to wagons are scattered on top. I'll see if I remember to bring them back tomorrow. The nice thing about Roman and I working opposite side the beverage service industry coin is that we have the apartment to ourselves nearly all the time. Isn't that great? Also, a bike like that? I guess it's easy storage. I'm asleep by the time he gets back, and I leave before he gets up. If he didn't leave some of the stuff out, it would be hard to tell tell I lived with someone. Which means I'm left alone to indulge in my incredibly intrusive hobby of knitting. I throw some cooking shows on TV for the background as I continue the hat I started yesterday. It won't be relevant for a couple of months. 'Cause winter. But aren't a lot of warm weather items to knit. Hopefully, I'll find someone to take it by the time fall rolls around. Enough, though I'm running short of family and friends to give them to. Maybe I'll get around to figuring out a way to sell them. The idea doesn't excite me much. I'm dubious about the idea of turning my hobby into a way of making money. Maybe clothing drives. Don't mind when people drop off handmade stuff. My precious few free hours while away as the hat proceeds from 1/3 done to 2/3 done. I can make a beanie in one evening at this point, but I'm trying to increase the complexity of my patterns. There's the remnant of a big pot of vegetarian Thai curry I made a few nights ago, which goes down as quickly as it takes to heat up. I appreciate my sleep, and there's not much tempting me to stay up, so I head to the bedroom as the sun sets. I pause in front of my bathroom mirror. I'm not in the habit of checking myself out in the mirror, but I'm compelled to notice my body for the first time in a while. It's probably what Naomi said, the fact that she was able to so confidently project what Rome would turn into gave me pause. Red eyes. Dragon. He's got such an obviously specific and admirable figure. He looks exactly what you'd expect a beach lifeguard to look like, and gets all the attention that elicits. Meanwhile, I'm normal. I mean, I don't think I'm perfectly average in every respect. I'm skinnier than most. I've got pretty distinct hair color, and my face was never the thing keeping me from getting dates. There's just nothing to latch onto. No characteristic striking enough to take note of. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a sort of a big blank slate. Maybe that's why Naomi couldn't figure out what I turn into. There's nothing interesting enough about me to pin some kind of appraisal on. You're getting melancholy again, dude. It do be like that. Just get out of the apartment next time you have a day off. Go to the beach or something. It's not guaranteed to work, but it feels better to have a plan. I flip off the lights and slip into my bed, folding the sheets down to my waist to keep myself cool. My ability to ignore dinner time traffic outside is unmatched, and I fall asleep after only a little more than stewing in my thoughts. Day 3. Awakenings. He's gonna have his gay awakening. Ooh woo. I wake up earlier than necessary. My sleep wasn't any better or worse than usual, but I wake up well before my alarm or the sunrise. I know I won't fall back asleep, and it wouldn't do me any good, so I slide out of my bed. It's a useful habit that I've developed to waking up early when circumstances call for it. I never miss the train or plane, no matter how early it is, even if I do oversleep on days off. Something must have told me I need to get up early, and that something is waiting for me in the form of a text from the boss that came an hour earlier. May I request your presence at the cafe half an hour early today, please? Overtime included. Okay, texting somebody that early, not good. And then that no, it's not good, but overtime? Okay. I had a feeling this was coming, Naomi said her surprise was coming today, and it was a coin flip whether it would be good, whether it would be before work or after, and that was my chair. There's no way I'm turned down overtime. So I tap her response, while feeling some guilt that I'm not nearly as formal in my text. Not that she's ever complained. Like with most of her managerial style, I think she writes like that for herself. I take my usual level of care to maintain the remain quiet during my morning routine to avoid rousing Roman, which is basically none at all. He's remarkably sound sleeper, even after he wakes up. He barely knows what's going on for an hour. When you work at a coffee shop with free access to yesterday's pastries, there's not much to do before heading out the door. I don't even need to grab a coat as I head out and lock the door behind me. It's just a 20-minute train ride, and my usual walk before I'm standing in front of the shop. Naomi Sparrow theme scooter is already parked in front. Hey, Bean. Ash approaches from around the opposite corner with her hands stuffed deep into her jacket pockets. Morning. Boss called you in early for overtime? Yep, figured she's gonna reveal whatever she and Naomi are talking about. I figured too. Looking forward to it? Not as much as I am the overtime. Yeah, me too. Who knows? I might need it if whatever scheme they hatch doesn't save the cafe. Her sentiment was too blunt for me to respond anyway, but it's not one I disagree with. Yeah, me too. Man, you ever think she wishes she had employees who were less pessimistic than us? I bet she wishes a lot of things were different about the cafe. She grabs the door handle and yanks it open, thrusting. I'll slip in behind her, trusting. When we enter, our boss is already standing next to the counter with Naomi, cheerfully demonstrating just how much better she is and being a morning person, despite the fact we all work the early shift. Miss Blumenthal, Mr. Bianco, thanks so much for coming in early today. No problem. Yeah, happy to help. Hey guys. She waves and smiles. Her big, long doe lashes curl up as her eyes shut into crescents. I don't look over to see as Ash's eyes roll, but can imagine them just fine. So, as you might have guessed, this is concerning the appointment I had with Miss Reeves the other day. She has offered to help us with a pilot venture for the shop. Would you like to tell him yourself? Oh yeah, sure. She turns to both of us. So, I was talking to the other co-op members at Barlow's, and we got a little bit of excess inventory that we're going to figure out what to do with. And they, of course, know you lowered your order recently and would like you as one of their pastry clients. And I put in a good word for you, of course. This time, I do turn my head to see Ash roll her eyes. And so, after asking your boss what she thought, I got permission to bring along a surprise, and, well, we're offering your shop some of the kimono tea. She delivers it like an applause line, which makes the silence afterwards all the more heavy. Like, to sell? No, Miss Reeves' employer doesn't have nearly the amount of excess inventory, and the suppliers can't keep up with the demand, and aren't taking on new clients. This would strictly be for employees. The following silence is even longer. So we drink it? If you'd like to take advantage of the opportunity, yes. Ash and I turn towards each other, confused. So we just, transform every time we work? Yeah, exactly. Ash scratches her head. I mean, I guess I've been curious about trying the tea. But what's the, reason? Well, as you know, business has been quite slow recently. I had hoped the Turkish coffee service on Sundays would be a compelling differentiator, but that's had less of an impact than I'd hoped, and I can't be serving more than one day a week. without something to set us apart from the other cafes in the vicinity, I fear Awakenings won't maintain enough business to stay viable. But there are other kimono shops in town. Wouldn't we be competing with them now? And they actually serve the tea. Those cafes do indeed have furry staff, but those establishments are primarily for serving the tea. We simply be using furry staff as a method for getting people in the door. Our main attraction will always be the quality of coffee we provide, and at a much lower price than the full-on kimono cafe, without the need for reservations. Oh yeah, I guess since it might be rare tea, it might be a bit hard to get stuff and expensive. Though there's one problem factor. Whatever we can do about all the extra flow, especially depending on what you turn into, because some don't shed, quote unquote, while others do shed. New Grindshire is basically furry mecca in the US. Tons of people are going to need a place to get normal coffee after they hit up all the usual spots. You'll probably get a lot of customers who just want the fun of being served by furry staff, but don't want to deal with the lines and stuff at our place and Brazzles. I had expected this pitch when I woke up this morning. Oh, it hadn't. Or how much sense it would make in its own way. So wait, whose idea was this in the first place? Oh, it was hers initially. Ash and I narrow our eyes at the boss. So you wanted to work after drinking the tea? The boss clears her throat. Like you, I was curious about trying some of the tea myself. I hear it's quite helpful for improving productivity on top of its more obvious effects. So do you want to try? I look over to Ash. I'm not going to be the one to respond first, and she seems to be more on board with the idea anyway. Well, I'm going to give it a shot at some point, and I guess it's a way I don't have to pay for it. Excellent. And you, Mr. Bianco? All three of them turn towards me, and my heart skips a beat. Do it. Morty, it's kinda sudden. There's no pressure if you don't want to. This is simply an experiment we're trying out for now. The relief I felt is so colored by subtle regret that the decision wasn't taken out of my hands. So, you two ladies wanna have some right now? Certainly. Yeah, why not? Naomi picks up two thermoses that I hadn't noticed resting on the counter. I've gotten two badges set up for you based on how far you'd like to take the transformation. There's a lot of graduation. There's a lot of graduation with how far you can go, but there's two main plateaus for each. We call them Kimono Mini and Anthro in the business. First, usually gets the ears and tail depending on the animal, while Anthro is the full deal, total body coverage, and facial reconfiguration. Okay, but what about the third deal? I guess that was 8 teabangs. If 2 quick looks ago, we decided to turn the main character into a mouse-ass mouse. But then I think there was even more mouse transformation after that, maybe? I didn't check. I'll have the full strength. I don't want to turn it out like some cutie anime cat girl. I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. Naomi nods enthusiastically and sets down one of the thermoses before grabbing 2 mugs. So, you two haven't had it before, and it's usually faster for people who have gone through it at least one transformation, but we've developed a brewing technique that'll jumpstart things for you. The scent is overwhelmingly pungent. The moment she unscrews the top, all of us recoil in surprise, Ash more than the rest of us. Naomi pours the tea into the mugs. This should be enough to get you to Anthro without much delay. And this is without additives, correct? Yep, just straight kimono. If you turn into something that's too inconvenient for work, we can try again tomorrow with something that will turn you into something predictable. Oh, so straight is whatever's just kind of your genetic or some predetermination, and then you can add other things to change into different animals? Boss takes her mug from Naomi and brings her nose to the tea, inhaling deeply. I can hear a subtle, satisfied sigh when she does. And for you. Ash takes her own mug and leans over to take a whiff. Her eyebrows shoot up and she jerks her head away. So this will be our default form? Yep. I always recommend people start with their default transformation. It's the one that is most you, after all. Better to play around with different forms after that, I feel. Is there any particular pattern for what people turn into? Naomi closes her eyes, sets her hands on her hips, and launches into professional spiel she's clearly given several times. Camellia tea is the only known magical substance on Earth, and as such is fairly resistant to objective study. Our attempts to establish rules are more akin to alchemy than standard science. Even so, we have noted some broad patterns that generally hold true. The tea takes into account both one's self-conception and one's true nature, and attempts to reconcile the two in some way, even changing people's bodies in ways that don't involve animal transformation. On top of that, one's inherited cultural connotations for animals plays a role. A cowardly American and a courageous Frenchman might turn into a chicken based on the perception of an animal. Is chicken supposed to be like brave in French? And we can't ignore the fact that tea sometimes seems to have a bit of sense of humor. People very often turn into animals that are related to the name. Ash looks over to me with an annoyed expression. That's crap. I'm gonna turn into a lion, and that's gonna be... and think he's hot shit. Or he's gonna turn into a lion and think he's hot shit. I mean, I guess he could... Looking at him, he could turn into basically Lake. I hold my hands in defense. Hey, I don't know what I'm gonna turn into. What I'm gonna turn in... What I turn into. I'm sure you'd make a very dashing lion, if that's indeed what you'd be. Ash grumbles to herself. Fucking teacher's pet. Not unless he has some tea too. Both Ash and our boss blow out with some steam wafting from their mugs, each waiting for some kind of permission to take the first sip. So it's quicker the hotter it is, so I drink it as quickly as you can without hurting yourself. The two of them clutch the mugs, stealing themselves. Well, success of awakenings. To my continued employment. They lift their mugs before pinching their eyes shut and taking their first swig. Ash pinches her eyes and crinkles her nose. Woof. Dougie. Damn, I can't believe folks line up for this stuff at your place. I mean, I guess it does what they're praying for, but fuck. Miss Blumenthal, I know there aren't any customers in the shop at the moment, but if you could watch your language, please. Sorry, it's just this stuff is pungent. I mean, it's not bad, but it's definitely an acquired taste. Really, I find it quite pleasant. Naomi is once again ready for canned recitations. This is one of the tea's more distinctive attributes. Its flavor is dependent on the drinker and based on the animal of their default transformation. The tea tastes very grassy to me, as you might guess. Interesting. I'd say mine is something of a brisk, watery taste with pine and cedar. I don't know what mine is besides. I know, a licorice? I don't like licorice. It's just so damn sharp. She takes another long sip, as if seeking more evidence, and her boss follows suit. They only come for air a few more times before they empty their mugs. My, that is certainly invigorating. Yeah, I'm all hopped up. So my coworkers drink something a little less strong than this to start their shifts, and they're already be transformed by now, but their bodies have already primed to change. It should start in a few minutes. Both of them nod and remain silent as they anticipate their changes, each flitting glances at the backs of their hands. and noses to catch the first evidence shift. Wouldn't you want to do this in the bathroom, actually? Most animals have tails, and you guys got pants. I mean, I guess she's got a skirt, but she's still got pants. From my perspective, the difference is already profound. It's not like Boss is really enthusiastic about things, but I've never seen a sense of giddy anticipation override her distinctly professional demeanor. And Ash, well, I don't know if I've ever seen her truly excited by anything. It doesn't suit her general vibe, and there's not a lot to get excited about during a typical shift. But there is an unmistakable rapt of excitement in her eyes. It's frankly unnerving to see it on a face I'm accustomed to vacillating between scowl and sarcastic sneer. Ooh, eels. Oh, whoa, I think something's happening. Both of them reach for their ears, and tuning or remembering that that's usually the first thing to change. Indeed, I see a fringe of hair on each of their ears, dark gray for our boss and black for Ash. They each trace their fingers along the ridge of the ear and half shudder, half flinch at this sensation. Goodness, that's sensitive. Yeah, the fur starts out real sensitive, but you get used to it. They don't have long to notice the change before the next one starts. The tops of their ears look like they're pinched and pulled up. Fur grows around each of them as quickly enough, and they don't look like elf ears stuck in the wrong way. Ash's ears stop just short of the top of her head, with a mostly round shape, while the boss's continue higher and higher until they tower over her already voluminous hair. You'll be mammals. That usually keeps things nice and simple. Eels. Would. I don't know. I like also. What is it? What the fuck is up with like animal ears and just attractiveness? I have no idea. But it's hot. Boz fronts her ears, folding the sharp tips down over the intrusions that are already so full of fur. What do you suppose I am? I'd give it a bit more time. I wouldn't want to influence anything. Ash cups her hands over her ears to get a better idea of their shape and circumference. I don't know what these are. Bear something? The next change might have more clues. Both of them are too involved in their ears to notice their noses as they bunch up and their nostrils flare into slits. Ooh. The surface of each of them coarsens and darkens as they're pulled into a rough, black nubs in the middle of their faces. Both are roughly triangular, though in harmony with their ears, Ash's is rounder. Oh, weird. I can actually see it. I mean, you can see your nose. She crosses her eyes and pokes at it. Our boss is more delicate with her investigations. Ash's body pokes back as a few whiskers sprout out of the base of her new nose and tracks her hand. She notices me watch her transformation. How's it look, Bean? Super intimidating, or what? There's no way I'd tell her just how much her ears resemble a teddy bear's. It's interesting. She raised an eyebrow at me. Interesting? That's all? There's absolutely no description I could use that wouldn't result in more interrogation. It's just, different. Nothing more specific than that? Aside, the best course of action is to clam up. Come now, no need to badger Mr. Bianco. Oh yeah, badger, that would be it. She pokes her ears again to recheck, and her boss smiles at the potentially unintended joke, which means I see her fangs grow in. It grows slowly, taking maybe a full 30 seconds to grow the 3/4 inch, but even the subtlest changes are arresting. Before too long, her usual gentle smile contains a menacing edge. Would. Watch out, or where you point those at herbivores. She gasps and covers her mouth. Gracious, I'm sorry. Ash pokes her own new fangs, which are shorter and more conical. Is she gonna become a trash panda? Like Wolf and Trash Panda? She's not gonna be compelled to eat you or anything, is she? Nah, you have to take a lot before those kinds of instincts bubble up. You need to be careful how you come across. I'd certainly try and be more whatever then. Though I suppose it might come in handy for more disruptive custom. Oops. It will. She leaps up enough to hear her shoes clack on the landing. Oh right, waistbands down, ladies. You gotta give those tails a little room. What? I turn away before Ash can finish shooting me a dirty look, as two of them pull down the rear of their skirt waistbands a few inches. You want to get something with a slit cut out if you're going to do that on a regular basis, but a day with that shouldn't be the worst. There's a couple of places around town that make furry appropriate altercations. Yep, Trash Panda. The necessity of their actions is immediately apparent as I see their tails appear from behind their backs. Both of them turn around as their tails emerge inch by inch. They're the most conclusive evidence of the transformation so far. The boss is bushy and same dark gray fur on her ears, but with a white patch underneath. It comes to the point where she looks like a painter's brush and is so thick that it's about as the width of her waist at its widest part. She pulls her tail in front of her and runs her fingers through her fur. My, this would be a wolf's tail, isn't it? Yep, looks like it. Classic choice. She turns towards me and winks, confirming she called it before she even handed me the mug. Did she call wolf? Ash's tail isn't far behind, and is even thicker than the boss's wolf tail, or maybe more accurately, it's broader. Wait, or is she a skunk? The fur makes the tail wider than her shoulders, and it emerges from her waistband, like paper from an old dot matrix printer. The edges are the same black as her ears, though it's not too long before two stark, white stripes appear. Oh, that's a skunk's tail, huh? That explains the taste. I'm able to catch yet another wink from Naomi at that revelation. Both tails reach their full length as each of them squint, as they get used to having an entirely new limb. The boss's wags reflectively behind her, while Ash stays mostly upright, the fur fanned behind her. Okay, these last changes come in pretty quick, so get ready. They feel the changes before I see them, as their hands shoot to the small of their backs. Something is happening around their base of their tails. It's not too long before I see it elsewhere. The fur spreads from the places where the transformation has already left a mark, and I see it crawling from their nails, ears, and nose. It shows up on Ax's exposed waist, where black flames a cool white stomach. The slate gray of the boss's fur spreads across her forehead, peeking down the bridge of her nose, while the rest of her face is covered in milky white. The shoulders and arms are covered in fur, in contrasted patterns distinct to each of them. Ash is covered by more of her inky fur, while her boss features lighter tones. In fact, those tones seem to be spreading from her hair. Whoa, the tea changes the hair color too? That's one of the weirder aspects of the tea. It seems to have a sense of aesthetics to match your fur pattern better. Is mine changing? She pulls a few strands, taking care not to upset her carefully sculpted hair. Just getting lighter, like more silver. Boss frowns. It's not making me look older, is it? Hey, people like older women. No, it looks great. Very distinguished. The choice of words doesn't entirely negate her concern, but she seems more at ease. Is mine doing anything? On cue, the color drains from the dyed streaks of her hair, as though bleach were seeping down the strands. It leaves her with white strands to match her tail. You're losing the blue in your hair. She frowns and her fangs dig into their bottom lip. Fuck, I'm gonna have to re-dye that. How does it change synthetic color like that anyway? Naomi shrugs. It's magic. The dye gets restored. At least it does for one of my coworkers. Yeah, would. The fur is spread across most of their bodies. A few more patches of exposed skin receding under the advance like sandbars covered by a rising tide. I hear soft rustling as fur slides underneath their stockings. One of the last places for each of them is the skin just above their neckline. The fur coverage is there, jetting up like waves crashing onto each other, leaving a tuft of fur extending outward. One last bit, you feel a little pressure. Ooh. They pinch their eyes shut as their mouths and nose extend outwards. Yeah, would. It looks like they're each hit with a sudden bout of sinus pressure and they grit their teeth. It gives me the best look at their fangs yet. Faint creaking noises emerge as their muscles draw further and further out, matching the pattern so far. Asher stops just short of our bosses, who is drawn out to a long, sharp snout. What? Both open their eyes and blink as they're confronted with their new anatomy jetting out into their field of vision. Maybe this will help. She pulls out 2 hand mirrors, and she brought with the occasion, and each of them grasps to her reflections. Aman Tan Iram. This is amazing, Mr. Reeves. Yeah, this is wild. Thanks for the sample. Each of them turn their head back and forth to see how the sheen of the fur moves. It's not too long before Ash turns to me. Pretty slick, huh, Bean? She flexes her fingers, and I notice her nails have thickened into short claws. Yeah, I had those like a couple of days ago when I was doing Halloween stuff, and kept them afterwards for when I went to the Renaissance Festival. I have to say, I'm not sure what's up with like human nails, because like when I grow mine out, they seem to be pretty resilient, but then when I hear about, humans with long nails, it's chipping nails and stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I would have picked skunk, but I think it works for me. Yeah, your smelly attitude. Got him. Totally. It looked super duper sophisticated, ma'am. The boss loses the last bit of misgiving under her new form. She closes her eyes and brushes some hair over her shoulder at the same movement and swishes her tail in the same motion. It's kind of you, Miss Reeves. Well, okay, I was like, we might be a little bit over time, and it's fine. We're a bit shorter than the hour 15 that is like our harder cutoff point. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this quick look. And as you can see here, this is the date, so it's like, you might wondering why I'm just like a bit... What is the gallery? And credits. And chapter select. Oh, okay, no. But yeah, that's the end of this quick look. So yeah, I mean, it's on the front page, so you'll know what the main character turns into. But if you look at the itch.io page, you might also look at what the main character turns into, because there's 2 of them. Ooh. It looks like the main character does possibly get the transformation shortly thereafter. He might try the D. Hyena. But, that's for another time. So again, if you want me to do this as a Let's Play series, then tell me, and I'll give it a point, which will put up higher in the list of that time slot. And if you want to play this game, then you can go to itch.io where it's free, or if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, then you can go to their Patreon, which is $5 a month for this and one other game. I think it's called like Hot Cross Buns? Cross Signals, which is a body swapping one, I think. Hyena. And is there anything else? Oh yeah, if you have any other quick looks that you want me to do, then tell me, and I'll put it on the quick look list, and I guess also give it a point because someone suggested it to me. God, my jaw hurts. I mean, when you talk for over an hour straight, yeah, it do be like that. Sometimes. So anyways, please comment, guys, like, comment, something you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise, woo tips. If you like my YouTube and like Instagram, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos I've been please remember my new animals that control the pit population. And I'm gonna have a hot shower and a hot cup of tea and get some mail. Maybe a snack, even though I already had ice cream and a whole bunch of, not ramen, hot curry. Hey, you know. And until next time, oh, right. I was like, stall. We forgot something. It's because we didn't pick up what we were doing for the next one. Which, yeah, I'm really going to have to expand this list right here because we only got 2 left. One that was like, here's something that I think somebody suggested, and then another one which is, I know, something that I was like, let's just take a look at it. So, random number generated destiny, tell me your wisdom. Number 1. Survey says, Friend Euphrasia Alpha. Is this 5 Nights at Freddy's? I'm a bit worried. Night Fox works. I don't remember adding this one. Did somebody suggest this one to me? Or was I just like, yeah, no, put it on the list. Nope. Oh, and I forgot to take that thing down there. Okay. It's a Freddy Fazbear dating simulator? Okay, I'm gonna put it down because it seems to be increasing just a smidge. Boop. Sorry, I was a bit being like, I don't remember adding this one to the list. Okay, there's the rich guy on Patreon. Yeah, I don't remember it. But anyways, a Fortnite and Freddy Fazbear's started in development in January something then, 2023. Following the successful run of Choose Your Own Adventure Story, the reception has been positive at the first arc, performing Fazbear novels. I'll just continue reading. It's a mature tale that takes place over 14 nights at Freddy Fazclair's, I can read, a nightclub in which the main performers and draw are animatronic women, I can read, that parody characters from the famous Five Nights at Freddy's line games. Choose between male and female perspective as you dive into the mystery surrounding Freddy Fazclair's quirky animatronics. So if you want to play this game, it's free on itch.io. And what version do I have? Okay, the most up-to-date version. Oh. Because there's the itch.io, right? That's the itch.io thing, and okay, this is the same person that made Malovent. Huh. Or is making. And let's see, if you want the most up-to-date version, then you get, let's see, early access is $10 a month for, I guess, this and Malovent. Hyena. Okay, I think I said everything. That's enough of this. And until next time, another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, some of the game. That being this one. Right here. Right at me up. So, thanks and see you.